Hey crafters, it's Janet with Crafting It Up in Creations coming at you today with day 8 of my 12 Days of Christmas DIY Ornament series. So today these are pretty huge ornaments. I found these baubles at Michael's and they're huge. I'll show them to you here in a little bit, but I decided that I wanted to make a terrarium using some fairy garden stuff. And then I'd already made a couple for my sister-in-law who loves the beach. We always go to the beach together, or we have the last 2 or 3 years now. And so I made a couple for her, and then I was like, well, let me film making the fairy garden one because the fairy garden stuff is kind of in the center right now. I know a lot of it's pretty popular. So this is the beach one that I made, and the little sand castle is from the fairy garden stuff at Michael's, and it's really nicely made. It's pretty heavy. You can find them in their little fairy garden section, and typically they run that stuff at least 40 to 50% off at different times. So the big thing is just to kind of pay attention to when the sales are and stock up. And sometimes, like now, it was at the end of the season, I was able to get those for pretty cheap. Now, this is a comparison of the two sizes of these. Now, this one came from AC Moore. It's a Nicole brand ornament, and it was only $1. But this humongous one is one that I found at Michael's. It's $2.99, not on sale, but of course, I've got this one 60% off. Some of their stuff right now is even up to 70% off. So I would go in and look because you can either find them now or even maybe after Christmas if you still wanted to do something like this. And these things are huge. Now, I have small hands, but it's huge. Like I say, you can make such a cute little scene in there. And this is a little snowman made out of sand. He's got his little sand bucket next to him, and I put some sand in the bottom of it. Both of these I did Mod Podge, put some sand from the Dollar Tree in them, and then added the details, and I'll show you some of the buttons that I used here in just a little bit. And as you can see, there's some of those little cute buttons. Now, this little tart warmer is from the Dollar Tree. I am going to use it with one of them because I want to just set it down and seat it right inside of that lip. And then you can put like a little candle under there, not one that would actually burn, but definitely a like tea light that the Dollar Tree has. You can get them 2 for $1. And that would look really super cute. These are Beach Beauties. These are buttons that I've gotten from AC Moore, Michael's, Joann's has them, Hobby Lobby has them. They all have a huge section of buttons, and I've gotten different ones from different places. But these are beautiful. Some of them have glitter on them. Some of them are plain. I used like one glitter one in that one. And then, so I'm going to go on and make this cute little terrarium with the fairy garden stuff. And this is a mossy matte. It's peel and stick, and it's wonderful. Now, it's very expensive. It was $12.99. I used a coupon on it and got it because I thought this is exactly what I need to put inside this terrarium. And you pull it out, and of course it's sticky on one side. You peel it off, and you can kind of stick it inside the bauble. Now, I will say it's not as cost effective by using that, but you can always use the stuff from the Dollar Tree because they sell moss as well. Now, this is a cute little house that I found while I was shopping when we were in Asheville. And I must have gotten this at Michael's because I didn't go to any other store while we were down there. And they were really cute. You can cut those little wires and add them to things, but they're really small. And I'd already planned to use a fairy door that I had that was a button. But I am going to go back and make a few more of these. But this is the little house up close. Super cute. And it came with a little mailbox, which I'm going to show. Here we go. And it's so cute. Now, I end up using the mailbox in the one that I have because I just thought it made a little cute little touch, but it's kind of hard to see. Now, I have made in the past these little lanterns that you can hang, but as you can see in reference to this little house, it's pretty big. And even with these little fairy doors, it was kind of big. So I'm planning on making a few others, but I wanted to go ahead and share this because I'm running out of time, guys. It's December 21st. But these are the cute little houses, and it came with 2 houses, a couple of little mushrooms, and a little sign that said Fairies Welcome in that pack. And I've got about 1.5 packs left because I used some of these on those little lanterns before. I'll link the other videos down below so you can see those, because I've used tons of these buttons this year, which is awesome. Some of them I've had in my stash, but I do admit I did buy a good bit this year. So I start to cut this, and I think, well, let me kind of come up with a little bit of a measurement as to how big I want it. I still didn't really cut it big enough, but I'm glad that I didn't, because once I stuck this inside that bobble, oh my goodness, it stuck. This is very nice and sticky. It's perfect. And I kind of decide that I want to round the edge because I don't want it to be, completely square shaped, And so I round the edges a little. And then I decide, I don't want to waste this stuff because it was expensive. And I just take those pieces, no matter how little they were, I unpeel the back off of them and stick them in an area just to kind of give it more depth and, make it a little thicker and everything. And it's kind of a little bit tricky at first to pull apart, and I kind of roll it there, and that was a good idea. But somehow or another, I got stuck to something on the way in there, and I was like, well, I'm just going to go with it. A little bit of it stuck on the outer edge, so I just peeled it around the edge even. And I just went through and pushed it down everywhere that I could to make sure it had a good seal. And this is the floral moss from the Dollar Tree. This is $1, and it's a huge bag. I mean, it'll probably take me forever to go through it because I pulled some out and glued it down on the inside of this, and I still got the whole bag left, really. I cut the back off of the little door. I'm going to put some of this hot glue on the back of it, and I glued it to the back part of the ornament. And I'm going to line up some more of this moss around to kind of make it look like it's a little caved area. And I even went ahead and folded some right around the edges because I liked how that happened by accident earlier. I thought that just added something to it. I'm going to add this little mailbox. And I had already kind of made the other ones because I was trying to get Christmas presents done very quickly. And so I thought, well, I would film this one and kind of show you what I did. This is the little Fairies Welcome sign. And I thought, hey, that would look super cute on the outside. So I don't add it just yet. I'm going to go ahead and put everything on the inside first. And then I also bought these little mushrooms from Michael's at one time. They were $2.99. You get like a bunch of them in a little pack, and as long as they're on sale, they're even cheaper. These little fairy garden figurines were from the Dollar Tree. They also had little mushroom ones, as well as little gnomes, and I think I've got to make a gnome one because I love these little gnomes. These are left over from last summer. They do have these little mossy rocks, and I had planned on using one, but I forgot. By the time I started sticking rocks and different things in there, I forgot all about those little mossy rocks. I've got pebbles from the Dollar Tree. I intended to use the white ones, but they weren't flat enough, so I ended up using some of the stone color looking ones. And I hot glue them down to the bottom as well. This one sticks up a little more, so I think it's really good since I've got the door the way it is to kind of look like a step up to it. And we're going to glue in some of the little mushrooms. And I put them in there and I kind of hold them in place for a little while. I'm using the low temp glue gun. I've made the mistake in the past of using those hot temp glue guns, and I've burnt myself pretty good on those. So I'm learning to love the low temp. I kind of stick my little fairy girl in there to decide where I want her. I tried her on the other side too. And then I decided to use some of these bottle brush trees on the other side of the walkway. And I called these bottleneck trees in the last video. I apologize. They're bottle brush trees. I didn't even realize I'd done it. I kind of think that's too funny. I'm going to add those, and then I'm going to add my little fairy. And I thought she was the cutest. I kind of thought she lent to not making it look too big because the door's kind of rather small. And since she was kind of kneeling down, I thought that made a perfect size for her. And then I'm going to add the little fairy sign. And then I think I could use something else. So I kind of look at it for a little while. And I do decide I'm going to add another mushroom here in just a second to the front, in front of her. Because I'm like, well, you know, little fairy gardens got to have lots of mushrooms. And this is snow flock. It's a little bit of flocking plus some glitter. And I decided to kind of add it to the inside. At first I tried to add flowers, and I'm like, no, Janet, you have little trees in there. This looks like a winter scene for now. Make a summer one later. So I go around and I kind of just add this little snow flocking everywhere. Now, of course, it's going to mess it up if you ever turn this thing upside down, maybe, because it's not really sticking in there purposefully. But then I decide to take a little piece of homespun and add it to the top rather than just ribbon. And I do use a little bit of hot glue to keep that in place. And these are little cupcake stands from the Target dollar spot. I've had these for a while. And I decide I want to display these ornaments because I don't think they're going to really look right on a tree. They're pretty huge. I mean, they could very well go on a tree. But for my tree, it probably wouldn't look right. So I get this E6000 quick hold from Hobby Lobby the last time I went. And I decide I'm going to try it out. And I would have shown you me putting it on the bottom of the ornament. But when I opened it up, it spewed out everywhere. It made a huge mess. See? So I wiped that off. But I put it on the bottom of these ornaments and stuck them down to the cupcake holder. And you have a few minutes, of course, to put them in place. It's really good to let it set for about 5 minutes before you stick it down on your surface so it gets a little bit tacky and they won't slide. And then here is the finished product. You can kind of see inside there. And it just looks like a little fairy garden's own little world. Like you've got a little look inside. And I love it. I want to make more of these. But I wanted to go ahead and show you this one. I'll definitely make some summer ones. Maybe I'll even come up with something creative at the top of this ornament itself to make it not look so much like an ornament. We'll see. And then again, I'll show you the beach ones that I did. I had some little wreaths that I just glued to the front of that sandcastle just to give it kind of like a Christmassy look. And then I added another one of those bottle brush trees, and it's kind of like a off gray color to that one. So really loved how some of these came out. I can't wait to give them as presents. I don't know who I'm going to give the little fairy one to. I may have to keep that one. But of course, one of these is going to be for my sister-in-law. We love going to the beach. So as always, if you like these type of videos, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. And if you hit the bell, you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thanks for watching. Take care.